If you're watching this video, you already know how incredibly expensive real estate is in California, and you're probably also assuming there's no way that you can afford a down payment in California. But I can almost guarantee you, by the end of this video, you will be convinced that no matter how broke you think you are, you can buy your first house in 2021 using a down payment assistance program. In some cases, 100% financing. Stay tuned, we're jumping in the episode right after a quick word from our sponsor. Faithful Platform is a small private company that works one-on-one with their clients to custom build diamond jewelry. Unlike many other diamond vendors, Faithful Platform custom builds every single order. Not only that, but they guarantee the best price for your product no matter what. So whether you're looking to buy an engagement ring or an iced out Rolex, use the link in the description to get a free quote today. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Money Metcon podcast. We're figuring out how to use real estate to get our money working hard for us rather than us working hard for our money. This video is actually one of many videos in an entire playlist that I'm making, finding the best down payment assistance programs in the nation. So if you don't see yours up here, wherever it is in the playlist, leave a comment so I can make sure to cover your state. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into these down payment assistance programs. One of the most important things to mention right off the bat is you need to know that half the battle is using a down payment assistance program to get in your house. The other half of the battle is how do you best utilize that program once you're in your house. Stick around to the end and I'm going to show you how to best utilize this tool from A to Z. So in order to get in your first home, you're going to use a program through a company called the California Housing Finance Agency. There are two layers of this loan that you're going to combine together. Layer number one is your down payment assistance program. This program is called a My Home Assistance Program. And the way it works is they max out at $10,000 or 3% of your purchase price, whichever one is less. So I used an almost exactly identical down payment assistance program to buy my first home. Check this out. I went from having a cash to close of $27,400 on the bottom left category to $16,800 on the right side here you see. And check this out. You see where the $10,000 is? That is the down payment assistance program. So this is legitimately how it works. It takes $10,000 off of your purchase price, or excuse me, your cash to close when you're getting in your house. Really quickly, if this video is helping you, hit subscribe. It helps me a lot. Let's jump back into the video. So layer two is a closing cost loan called the Zero Interest Program, or ZIP for short. And you're going to use this loan in combination with your first loan to maximize the amount of dollars you get to use to get into your first home. So there's two different options with this loan. You can either choose to do 2% of the purchase price of your home or 3% of the purchase price of your home. The only difference you need to be aware of is if you go from 2% to 3%, the 3% option is going to give you obviously more dollars, but there is a higher interest rate attached with the 3% option. Another difference is where the My Home Assistance Program, layer number one, maxes out at $10,000. Layer two, this ZIP program doesn't have a max amount. I've actually talked to a few lenders and you can kind of choose how much you want to have given as a loan. So long story short, the more expensive your property is that you want to buy, the more 2% of that purchase price is going to be. So if you're looking to buy a $200,000 house, 2% of $200,000 is obviously less than 2% of, say, $500,000. So just keep that in mind that this is a powerful tool depending on the cost of your property. So layer one, the My Home Assistance Program, and layer two, the ZIP program, get used in combination, and you can maximize the amount of dollars that you get granted to you or given to you in a loan so that the cash to close that you bring gets taken down significantly. So even if you think you're broke and you don't have money, you have got to reach out to a lender and figure out how much money can I take advantage of in these down payment assistance programs so I can bring as little cash to the table as possible to get into your first house of 2021. But here's the best part of this. You need to know this is that both of these loans are deferred payment loans from my understanding, which means that you don't have to make a single payment on any of these loans until you either number one, refinance, or number two, sell the home. Now check this out. I told you to stick around at the end. We're getting into the most lucrative part of this deal, in my opinion, right now. The best way to take advantage of these programs is once you use the money to get in the house, I would advise you to refinance as quickly as you can. So why do I say refinance? Check this out. Imagine an example where you have a $200,000 home and you took out $10,000 on the My Home Assistance Program and then $10,000 on the ZIP program. You are total in this property $220,000 that you will eventually have to pay back. So instead of having 3 separate loans, and this is a key, with restrictions on what you can do with your property, when you refinance out, you just go to a lender and say, hey, I would like to refinance and pay off the ZIP loan and the My Home Assistance Program so that you own the property free and clear with no restrictions, and you can do whatever you want with the property now on one loan. So you might be asking what restrictions. You haven't mentioned any restrictions. So check this out. There are restrictions, and I'm going to break them down by helping you understand what it takes to qualify for these down payment assistance programs. Number one, it has to be your primary residence. So meaning this has to be the home that you live in. So if you want to make this home a rental property eventually, the only way that you can do that is by refinancing the property out, so that restriction doesn't exist. So in terms of restrictions, that's really the main restriction, but here are the details of what you need to know to actually qualify for this loan. Number one, you have to have a minimum of a 660 credit score. Number two, you have to be a first-time home buyer, and you can also fall in the category if you haven't had a home for 3 years, you can still apply as a first-time home buyer. And then you can't exceed, and this is a big one, certain income limits. So the assumption is you're young, you're a first-time home buyer, or you haven't owned a house in 3 years. So if you're making a ton of money, you might not qualify for this loan. So check out these details right here. You can pause the screen right now and check, according to your area, the income limits. I hope this video helped. Hit subscribe, show some love. It helps me. Now go find a lender who is a qualified lender who will be able to give you the details and get in your first house in 2021. This is John with the Money Metcon podcast. We'll talk to you next time.